Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. We're going to take a few moments to collect ourselves and to relax before we engage into our discussion. What we need to do is to focus now on bringing positive energy into our lives and into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We have all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our lives will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy, and how we can do this is by changing our outlook, meeting every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism, and once you do this, you will see a change in yourself. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life: family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons why your life is amazing. You will see the change. You will be changed. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful and think. Hi, this is Minister Gloria Lee from the Women of Courage Show. I'm the host. For several months now, I've been talking about breast cancer in black women, and I've gotten no response. Well, I hate to lose, so I'm going to discuss black cancer in black women again. Like Fannie Lou Hamer, I am resolved to win this battle. I want you to take action. I want you to gird your loin and face taking a mammogram. Do it for your children and your family. As black women, we beat all odds because we are strong, beautiful, intellectual, creative, and above all, we love and care for our children and loved ones. We have been beaten, raped, humiliated, and lynched in this country, but we continue to fight. Now we have another common enemy we must fight, which is breast cancer. This is because the mortality rate of this dreadful disease is increasingly rapid in black women. We must take control of the situation. As black women, the love we have for our children is immeasurable. That is why we work tirelessly to give them a brighter future. But this disease has the potential to reduce the chances of achieving this goal as a mother. A story made rounds a while ago about two brothers in California that were motherless and were put in foster care. The so-called foster care parents killed these children, then reported them missing a couple of months later. Black women are dying every day due to breast cancer, leaving their children behind to fend for themselves. This story can change if we fight together, as we fought with our bodies for the right to vote and the right to ride a bus in this country. Can we really fight this? Yes, we can. Early detection is the key to getting this disease off our backs. The disease can be detected by doing monthly breast exams and having a mammogram yearly. I know it is scary to think of the outcome after a mammogram, but I want you to know that it is better to be safe than sorry. There is a high probability that you don't have this disease, And even if otherwise, early detection of breast cancer can be staged. As a breast cancer survivor, I'm saying this from experience. I was diagnosed with a breast disease and dense breast when I was 20 years old. Thereafter, I was examined every year and I underwent surgery after surgery after surgery on both breasts for a total of 18 bioptic surgeries. I have the scars to prove it. I had to undergo these surgeries because after getting my mammogram every year, the doctors could not say definitively that I did not have breast cancer without taking a biopsy. I was lucky it was early detection. Breast cancer occurred in 2009. I underwent surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation at the VA hospital in Detroit. I am now 78 years old. I made up my mind when I was 18 that I was going to do everything that I had to do to survive. I would not allow fear to control me. This is why I'm encouraging you to fight this disease with me. Battles are won when people concentrate on the situation at hand and not think of what could happen. I call on you today to please join hands with me as we fight against this dreadful disease by conducting a mammogram every year and also sensitizing other females by sharing the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Download the booklet from our website touchedbythelight.us. Please download this booklet, read it, and send it to 5 other women to help save lives today. If you are tired of being afraid, increase your knowledge of the situation. If you are afraid of swimming because you think you will drown, go to the YWCA and take swimming lessons. If you are afraid of breast cancer, go to https://touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Do not end this year without getting a breast exam. Black women have always had the courage to fight, even when death was staring us in the face. God bless.
We are back now with this week's special series, African American Women, specifically where they stand. Tonight, breast cancer, really in black and white. A new study out tonight is raising questions about the way doctors have been assessing risk factors for breast cancer in all American women. The concern tonight is that the model is broken and that it's African American women who may be paying a very heavy price for that. Here is our chief medical editor, Dr. Nancy Snyderman.
It was devastating, scary.
In 2001, Vanessa McCaskill joined the ranks of millions of African-American women diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was only 36 years old. To hear the word cancer, it was unreal.
Statistics show that black women are less likely than whites to get breast cancer. But when they do, they're younger, the cancer is more aggressive, and the women less likely to survive. For years, doctors have assessed a woman's breast cancer risk using a model developed in 1989. The problem is that model was based on data gathered solely from white women.
So we're beginning to ask the question, is it really just all about access? Or is it possible that because breast cancer affects women differently, that for some women it might be a completely different disease?
Dr. Lisa Newman has conducted research on breast cancer patients in Ghana, working to learn why cancers are so different.
African ancestry in and of itself might be associated with a genetic predisposition for developing very aggressive forms of breast cancer.
Today's study in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute introduces a revised risk assessment model based on updated science. The goal? To encourage more black women to participate in clinical trials and to offer them opportunities for earlier interventions they may have missed before. Early detection was key for Vanessa, and she's thankful for every one of the last 6 cancer-free years.
Great, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
My hope for my daughters is that in my lifetime that we find a cure for breast cancer. I don't ever want them to have to deal with what I've had to deal with.
Early detection really matters, and if you're a black woman and you have a family history of early onset breast cancer, you really need to consider getting breast cancer screening, a mammogram, earlier, and you have to talk to your doctor about getting that perhaps before the age of 40. Talk to your doctor about your risk. And Brian, I cannot drive it home enough. Clinical trials matter. This is not experimentation. It's how doctors and scientists gather information so we can make a difference.
It sounds like the only way to even up the playing field.
Absolutely. We need people of all races and ages in these very important trials, and it's easy to find them at your local medical center.
Nancy, thank
What's
you.
been known for some time is that the majority of breast cancer that's diagnosed in this country, whether it is in African American or white women, is estrogen receptor positive. That's what majority of women are going to get. Majority of women get breast cancer in their older ages. That's why age is the most important risk factors for breast cancer. But then we have an unusual phenomena where young women get breast cancer. And among the youngest age group, African Americans seem to have a much higher rate than any other ethnic group in this country. And that's where we see the disparity. I've been a medical oncologist for more than 25 years. And one of the things that's now emerging is that breast cancer is not one disease. And previously we had treated it as one disease. And we thought that if everyone had equal access to breast cancer care, there would be equal outcomes. And we now have genomic tools and better ways to diagnose and treat breast cancer. And we're finding that the disparities in outcomes continues to increase. So we're beginning to ask the question, is it really just all about access? Or is it possible that because breast cancer affects women differently, that for some women it might be a completely different disease from what we have been accustomed to? And so that's why I think that we have to talk about access, but we also have to talk about the biology and finding new treatments for the most aggressive type of breast cancer that happens to disproportionately affect African American women.
One of the very provocative research lines that we are exploring is related to the possibility that African ancestry in and of itself might be associated with a genetic predisposition for developing certain types of breast cancer, and in particular these very aggressive forms of breast cancer. And so I and several others, such as Dr. Olapati, have been looking at African populations to compare the breast cancers that are seen in African women compared to the breast cancers seen in African American women, and then comparing these tumors to the cancers of white American women. We see that there is a more common predisposition for developing biologically aggressive forms of breast cancer in women with African ancestry. And we see this very strongly in African women. We see it strongly in African American women as well.
There's a lot of myths out there. And so what I'm encouraging women of all ethnic, racial groups to do is know about yourself, know about your risk for breast cancer, know that every woman is at risk for breast cancer. And if you're an African American woman who is at risk for the most aggressive type of breast cancer, you better be talking to your doctor about what you can do to lower your risk.
African American women indeed need to be aware of their higher risk for developing these aggressive forms of breast cancer, because early detection will be the key. Regardless of what type of breast cancer a woman is diagnosed with, her odds of beating that breast cancer are greatest if the cancer is detected early. The second message is related to research. We very much need African American women to become motivated, to stay motivated, to participate in clinical trials so that we can learn more about better treatments for these aggressive forms of breast cancer. And so it's exciting to partner with African American support organizations. It's exciting to partner with African research organizations so that we can learn more about these aggressive forms of cancer and perform the necessary research that will improve outcomes for women around the world.
I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now for my break. Hello, This is Minister Gloria Lee from the Women of Courage Show. I want you to prepare to vote. That is correct. I want you to make up in your mind, come hell or high water, that you will vote in every election that is held in the state of Michigan, regardless of how long the voting lines are and regardless of the weather. Your vote is important. That is why you need to take some water with you and a small stool to sit on. Your vote will determine the property tax we pay, the car insurance that we pay, the housing that is available for seniors, the schools our children will attend. Your vote will determine the number of new job openings, the number of hospitals and hotels in our city. Your vote will determine the policies at our universities and the police force. Never assume that your vote does not count. Voting is the most essential activity that you will ever participate in your life. People have died so you can vote. Elections comes down to voter turnout, so stand in line and make your vote count. I would like for you now to listen to a short speech by John Lewis on voting. Listen to what he has to say and note the passion in his voice.
The Democratic National Convention has gavelled into session on this day 3, beginning about an hour ago. Let's go straight to the floor, where veteran Georgia Congressman and civil rights pioneer John Lewis is speaking.
Or do you want to keep America moving forward? My dear friends, your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union. Not too long ago, people stood in unmovable lines. They had to pass a so-called literacy test, pay a poll tax. On one occasion, a man was asked to count the number of bubbles in a bar of soap. On another occasion, one was asked to count the jelly beans in a jar, all to keep them from casting their ballot. Today, it is unbelievable that there are Republican officials are trying to stop some people from voting. They are changing the rules, cutting polling hours and imposing a requirement intended to suppress the vote. The Republican leader in the Pennsylvania House even bragged that his state's new voter ID law is going to allow Governor Romney to win the state. That's not right, that's not fair, and that is not just. And similar efforts have been made in Texas, Ohio, Florida, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, and South Carolina. I've seen this before. I lived this before. Too many people struggled, suffered, and died to make it possible for every American to exercise their right to vote. And we have come too far together to ever turn back. So Democrats, we must not be silent. We must stand up, and speak out. We must march to the polls like never, ever before. We must come together and exercise our sacred right. And together, on November 6th, we will re-elect the man who will lead America forward, President Barack Obama.
Reasons to read You Are the Prophet of Your Life. 1. This book is not just for Christians. This book is good for people of all religions or even lacking religion. As said on the About page of the book, you don't have to believe in God to read scriptures. Reading the scriptures can help liberate you from negative thinking. In this book, we see how this is true and can learn to fight against this negative thinking ourselves. 2. This book is a great book for feminists. This book talks about the struggles of women put in hard situations. Although it is not recommended for survivors of violence, it is a great reminder of how the world can be to those of us who have been more privileged and lucky. This book shows us the lives of fellow women who've had it tough. It reminds us to be grateful for our fortune and reminds us how this world needs to change. Once we have that in our heads, all of us women can stand together and make the changes needed to better the lives of all women, hopefully forever. 3. This book helps us break away from negative thinking. Negative thinking is what keeps us away from our true potential. If we don't think we can do something, often we won't. The author of this book herself mentioned in her introduction that she almost didn't go through with writing the book because 3 men told her that no one would read it. If we instead believe in ourselves, we can reach our full potential. We can write that book or start that hobby. 4. This book reminds us to stick to our morals. No matter what you believe in something. Something or someone is right and the other is wrong. There are nuances, but you have created those nuances with your beliefs too. The author of this book is clear and strong beliefs and feelings when it comes to what one should and should not do. Even if we as readers do not agree with this, we can be inspired by her intensity. We can learn how to be as strong in our beliefs as well and stand up for the changes we want to happen. 5. This book helps us question the society we are a part of. This book points a critical finger and magnifying glass at our society. It shows us how men and women each fail in our lives and our society. We can see how the author is skeptical of our society, and we can become skeptical ourselves. This is not a bad thing. This keeps us from blindly following something that may or may not match our values and morals. 6. This book helps us take a deeper look into our emotions. You Are the Prophet of Your Life shows us how our emotions affect our actions and how these emotions can get in the way. If we are too loose with how we feel, we can make decisions we will later regret. However, if we are too strong, we can't let in love of anyone, including God. This book helps us check on our emotions by hearing the stories of others. 7. Reading itself is great. Reading is fun. It can also help us better our lives and increase our knowledge of many topics. 8. This book reminds us that we are to be judged by our actions and words. We are what we do and say. We are to be judged on that and not anything else. Just because we describe ourselves as a specific type of person like Christian or atheist, that doesn't make anyone better or worse than the other. The superiority comes from what you do with the life, time, and opportunities we are provided. 9. This book makes you feel. This book uses the second-person point of view of you. This keeps us in the headspace of those to who the author is writing. It makes you feel like the author is talking directly to you, reaching into your soul and letting you know right and wrong. 10. The book provides actual biblical quotes. Actual biblical quotes show you the more direct words of God, which can help religious individuals in their worship and personal relationship with God. It can also help us understand the reasoning behind the author's beliefs and gives her some more authority on each topic. As well, even if you are not religious, you can recognize the historical significance of the text and understand that they are coming from a place of hoping for a more moral world. You should visit touchedbythelight.us and This is our moment of hope. We want to end breast cancer. Will you get involved in our year-long campaign to bring the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer to women all over the country? All you have to do is purchase the books, What You Must Do to Win and Life-Saving Advice. at the WHPR studios at 160 Victor Street in Highland Park, Michigan. The proceeds from the book sales will help us in our campaign. A discussion of the book, The Prayer Jar. Prayer is the way to success. Luck, fortune, and success comes with prayer. Prayer is the direct communication of God with the person, and there are ways of prayer that need to be elaborate. This book is based on these ways. If you want success in life, then read the book. Way to Success. This book is the initial way to success. If you are facing unsuccessful tenure of life, then this book will give you the power to travel on the successful road. Communication with God. To make your life smooth and with problems, communication with God is the best tool. This book will lead you to prepare with the communication with God to make your life better. Wider range to think. This book has a worldwide example that makes you think in a wider and enhances the limitations of the brain. This book is the straight way to think out of the box. Best Quotes of Brilliance. This book will provide you the extract version of the best quotes of brilliance, which can never be available in other reading materials. These quotes will help the reader to motivate and think beyond the normal routine. Provide happiness in life. The reader of this book will feel the happiness in life, surrounding in nature, even in work, because this book is a combination of prayers that will never let the reader down. If you want happiness in life, then you must read the book. Free Positive Power. Most of the persons think of power with guns and religion, or want to be the dictator of the world with artificial power, which is a sin and can't belong. This book will provide the reader an opportunity to feel the positive power to rule the world with kindness and happiness, which will exist even after your life. Be Yourself. This book will help you to know about yourself and will let the reader that is yourself, because everyone else is taken. Be Yourself is the thing that most of the persons are afraid of. This book will help you to be yourself with satisfaction. Don't be a fool. This is a common thing that everyone makes mistakes and does foolish things. This book helps the reader to accept the mistakes without any hesitation and worry. It will bring a mental peace to make you set away from foolish things. God's Will. This book will provide the understanding to the reader and what is God's will to spend a happy life. Almost everyone is upset and unhappy with life because of unnatural events. Read this book to know God's will to fight against worries. Good Parenting. If you're a parent or soon will be a parent, then this book will provide you to become a responsible parent in the light of religion and success. You must read the book to make sure that your decisions are right or wrong. You should visit touchedbythelight.us and
It's our responsibility to do as the Bible says and to reach out to those, especially be an aid and a resource for the least, the last, the downcast, the downtrodden. That's really important. I think the church has to be a source of hope. my first cousin passed away of AIDS. This was in the mid-1990s. And the real sad thing about it is that our family was very hush-hush about it. It was not widely acknowledged, though we all knew. And his sexuality, though we all knew, was not acknowledged. And many in our family regarded it as something to be, it was a source of shame. Not just his passing, but his life was a source of shame. Some of us are very devout Christians and very conservative Christians. And so he lay dying, and many in our family judged him, which is one of the great tragedies of my family, and it happens in a lot of families, and it's a tragedy. Sometimes people don't want to hear teaching by word, but teaching happens not only verbally, but it happens by living a certain example, modeling certain types of behavior. And I think that's what the church needs to combine, verbal teaching with exemplifying an embracing, hopeful, comforting style of ministry.
When Cheryl Reed was diagnosed with breast cancer in early 2006, she felt confident it was something she could conquer.
I received the diagnosis when I was at work on my cell phone. So it was kind of like, okay, I hear what you said. Okay, now I got to get back to work.
She went through chemotherapy and radiation, and by October 2006, thought the cancer was gone. She was wrong. Within a few months, it returned with a vengeance, metastasizing to her liver, lungs, chest wall. This time the prognosis was more grim.
It's like I didn't want to listen to anything else that was negative or that told me that this is the deadliest of all. You can play all you want to, but you're never going to win the game.
Cheryl learned she has triple-negative breast cancer, a rare, fast-moving cancer that has experts like Dr. Funmi Olopade stumped.
1, we don't know the risk factors for it. 2, we don't know how best to screen for it. And 3, we don't know how best to treat it.
15% of women diagnosed with breast cancer will have the triple negative type, which doesn't respond to many of the common breast cancer drugs. And Dr. Olopade has found another thing victims of the triple negative cancer have in common.
African American women also have a rate that's much higher than young white women. We just say if you feel that your ancestry is more African than European, then you can get triple negative breast cancer.
Though black women are at lower risk of developing breast cancer overall as compared to white women, nearly 50% of black women diagnosed under age 55 are triple negative. The 5-year survival rate is 15% lower compared to other breast cancers. Researchers think a gene mutation is one factor putting black women at higher risk, but right now, research is preliminary. And clinical trials like the one Cheryl Reed is in at Emory University are trying to develop drugs specifically targeting triple-negative cancer cells. Despite the grim statistics, Cheryl's doctors say early detection is key.
All breast cancers are curable if you detect them early enough. So if you have your screening mammograms done and you get the cancer picked up at a very small stage, it's going to have a good prognosis.
Cheryl Reed was diagnosed early and is responding well to the experimental therapy. which is why she remains optimistic.
And it never occurred to me that, ooh, I'm going to die from this. It's like, you know, I've got breast cancer, let's take care of it.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, reporting.
The number of women in our community fighting breast cancer is a powerful reminder that we are all in this fight together. Our choices and actions have the power to protect the most vulnerable among us in a big way. Help us bring the booklet, Black Women and Breast Cancer, to women all over the state by purchasing the books, Journey into the Middle Kingdom, and Be Not Defeated in Hard Times, at the WHPR Studios at 160 Victor Street in Highland Park, Michigan. You'll be glad you did. With your support, we can show every woman that her life is important. By working together, we can inspire hope and become a force for good to get women access to the information they need. The Women of Courage Show wants to unite and inspire women to help each other. We want to help prevent violence against women and end the disease breast cancer. Will you help? With your support, we can make a difference. We want to let women know they are not alone. One moment in time can change everything in your life. When you agreed to purchase the books The Prayer Jar and The Woman I Want to Be to help save someone's life, you are actually helping yourself. No one knows when they will be diagnosed with breast cancer. So help yourself and others by purchasing a book at the WHPR Studios at 160 Victor Street in Highland Park, Michigan. We thank you for your support. The proceeds will help us in our year-long campaign.
I decided that at the end of every show for the next year, I would share excerpts from a book that I believe would enhance your life and make you a stronger thinker and problem solver. All characteristics that will help you win at life and raise stronger and healthy children. Many of you turn your nose up at reading, or you snub the advice that you must read in life to succeed, or you compare the cost of a book to getting a new pair of shoes or getting your hair done or your nails done. The reason why you make these cost comparisons is because you do not truly value a book. A book is a magnificent instrument that can change the course of your life and the lives of your children. In later shows, I plan to discuss with you how a book changed the lives of certain people. I understand that you do not earn a lot of money, and this money is valuable to you because of all the things you see advertised that you desire, and you do not want to spend a lot of money on a book. A new pair of shoes is more valuable to you than a book. If you truly cannot afford a book, then you need to go to the library and take your children with you for a day of reading. You must gird your loins and proceed at educating yourself. Some of you seem to think that having a conversation with your stupid girlfriend or your stupid boyfriend will help you more than reading a book, when actually having a conversation with your loudmouth girlfriend or loudmouth boyfriend is merely a cathartic, allowing you to blow off steam and proclaim how life has been so unfair to you. What you do not realize is that the advice coming from your do-nothing girlfriend or your do-nothing boyfriend is advice coming from a fool. Your do-nothing girlfriend is a sexual opportunist looking for a man she can impress with her body. When her vagina fails her, what will your girlfriend do but go to work at McDonald's or Wendy's at the age of 60 and continue to spread her ignorance at church? Her daughter will be on the street and her son in prison. She will never realize that her life is the result of the decision she made not to educate herself through reading. All her life, she felt that she had something better to do than reading. She had something better to do than reading with her children. She had something better to do than working with her children, and that was going to the bar, trying to entertain a man, or trying to find some man that would buy her a pair of shoes. A man spending money on her was more important than educating herself. In later shows, I'm going to spend a great deal of time giving you some examples of fools. These are people who think they are smart, willing to trade their body and integrity for a dollar bill. These people end up in the cemetery after lamenting each and every day of their lives about their unfulfilled dreams. Do not be upset by the use of the word fool. You tell me if a woman is not a fool to instruct her grandson to kill her husband for a $25,000 life insurance. Let that sink in for a moment. Instead of instructing her grandson to make something of his life, the grandmother instructs her grandson to become a murderer, to kill his grandfather. I have this anecdotal advice for you about reading. Listen to this short true story. A friend and I were talking. She said a woman she knew called her and sought to renew their friendship. During their conversation, the woman told my friend that President Trump had done so much for black people, and that's why she voted for him in 2016, and she was going to vote for him again in the upcoming election. My friend asked her a question. She said, "Tell me some of the things that Trump has done for black people." The woman said, "A whole lot." My friend persisted and asked her to name one thing that Trump had done for black people. The woman could not. The woman kept using the phrase, "a whole lot of things." My friend said after a while she stopped talking. Finally, the conversation was over and my friend hung up. My friend said, as she hung up, she made up her mind right then that she would never renew her friendship with this woman. Now ask yourself why. Why would she not renew her friendship with this woman? You can answer this question in 2 words. The woman was a poor thinker. She never investigated anything that was told to her. Whether you know it or not, a person who is a poor thinker, who does not examine his or her thinking, is a very dangerous person indeed. Think about it.
Hi there. Are you confused about the situation of life? Or are you discouraged about your present situation? Or have you been discouraged that you can never amount to something due to past failure? Or are you loaded with lots of fear? Or are you depending on friends to survive for living? Well, worry no more. We have information today that will help you on your way to living a better, more fulfilling life. We have for you today a book very loaded and well packaged titled, The Prophet of Your Life. This book will enlighten you on who you are, how to build yourself, and how to be a prophet of your life. Many of us feel passing through hard times and feel the world is crashing out on you. Do you feel that there is nothing to live for anymore? Probably you are even contemplating to condemn yourself. You don't need to suffer in silence. If there is anything in your life that you don't like, you can change it. You do not have to cope with that situation anymore. What you need is a touch of light through the right knowledge that will make you become a prophet of your own life. It is only in your darkest hours that you may discover the true strength of the brilliant light within yourself that can never, ever be dimmed. You are the prophet of your life. It's an exceptional book that will expand your understanding of violence and offer measures to prevent violence against women, children, and the community. It will help you to make informed and timely decisions that can help save lives, enrich your soul, enlighten your mind, and make you understand that capacity inside you to change things. If you desire to nourish your mind, grow, and get to greater heights, then choose to be the prophet of your own life by taking advantage of this rare opportunity. Knowledge is your best weapon against evil. A lot of us live lives but only few live their dream lives. A lot of us have lofty dreams. We want to have successful relationships. We want to own big corporations. We want to raise beautiful families, but only few are able to fulfill their desires. A lot of people are confused about how to live their lives to the fullest, so they end up living a life of mediocrity. Maybe that describes you. You're not alone. Well, understand first of all that life is not rocket science, so what you put in is what you get. If you fall into the category of people who do not have the willpower to live their own lives, then I've got good news for you. You Are the Prophet of Your Life is the book you need. It doesn't only help solve a lot of personal problems, it also provides practical guidance on how you can move from the realm of dreaming to the realm of doing, so that you can achieve your heart's desire. To better explain, let's watch a couple of videos about the wonderful book entitled, You Are the Prophet of Your Life. We hope you enjoy it. Now, you must have seen how negativity can ruin a beautiful life. By living positively, you can solve a number of personal problems that could stand in your way of a happy and successful life. Think of your life as a new building, for which you are the architect. You can decide how many bathrooms or bedrooms to put in there. Think of your life as a vehicle, for which you are the driver. You can decide when to stop or accelerate. Think of your life as a ship on a stormy sea, for which you are the sailor. You have to sail to safety, otherwise the ship will capsize. Only you can determine your course. Only you can decide what direction you want to go. Everyday life throws different challenges at us. How we choose to handle them could make all the difference in our lives. You can decide what happens in your life. You can be your own prophet. Some of the key messages discussed in the book include being consistent in your say and belief. One of the biggest problems most people encounter is being inconsistent. A lot of us fail when our thoughts and beliefs are put to the test. This should never be so. Being inconsistent in one's belief translates to sowing seeds of doubt and unbelief. And like the famous saying, whatever you sow, you will reap. As much as you can, endeavor to be consistent in what you say. Not only this, you must ensure that your speeches exude faith, happiness, and wellness. Being pessimistic is dangerous. Why get up in the morning telling yourself it's going to be a horrible day? Why tell yourself you are meant for the doom and not the fortune? No matter how bad your yesterday was, it should never stop you from being optimistic. Being pessimistic sets you up for a miserable life. It prevents you from seeing the positives in your life. You must realize that you're in control of what you think. Most importantly, you must always remember it is positive thinking that will make you a better person. The importance of reading scriptures. You do not need to believe in God to read scriptures. Reading the scriptures can help liberate you from negative thinking. God's words exude hope and positivity. They do not forecast doom and gloom. God tells man that he can look forward to a great life by living righteously and not violating others. Nothing can be as powerful as this. The need to investigate your emotions. Taking authority over your life involves you investigating your emotions. A lot of us fail in this regard. Investigating our emotions requires self-examination, which is usually painful. Apart from this, most of us are scared of making mistakes. Thus, we tend to prefer to oscillate back and forth between two kingdoms, then taking tough decisions. Irrespective of how difficult investigating your emotions can be, you must never shy away from it. When you do not investigate your emotions, you are inviting others to take control of your life. A lot of us have found ourselves in threatening scenarios: a cheating husband or a cheating wife, an unwanted pregnancy, extreme poverty, and many others. We are faced with making decisions which could either make or mar us. While some of us were able to scale through, others weren't lucky enough. Well, it is not that the women that couldn't make it through were foolish or less deserving. Most of the time, they were just unlucky to be victims of the weak belief system of the society we find ourselves. you can liberate yourself. The book, You Are the Prophet of Your Life, was written to help people all across the world to stand and confront the monsters in our lives for the sake of the future of our children. This book takes into cognizance the millions of people in the world who have lost their lives solely because they were poor and were unable to control their environment. As you can see from our last video, the book, You Are the Prophet of Your Life, applies to everyone, male or female. A Chinese proverb says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You should never be afraid of taking the bold step. You want a change of career at 40? Go for it. You need to acquire a new skill to boost your income? Go for it. You love someone but are scared to tell them? Come on, do it now. No one would kill you for that. It's the story of your life. Don't let anyone else but you be the writer. You can look beyond the facade of whatever despair and disappointment you're currently facing. Don't ever look down on yourself. If you ever have to look down, make sure it's your shoes you're admiring. You need a companion to help you through life? You need a companion to help make your decision-making a lot easier? That companion is You Are the Prophet of Your Life. Order your copy now and live the life you've always wanted. We at Touched by the Light Publishing hope you enjoyed our presentation and realize you can enjoy a more fruitful and fun-filled life after reading You Are the Prophet of Your Life. Order your copy now and purchase a copy to help someone you love now at http://www.touchedbythelight.us.
Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the hands of 1 million people? Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach 1 million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support.
Book, You Are the Prophet of Your Life. This is an amazing book beyond the typical minded expectation. The book is about to make everyone well know with the discussions of various phases of life, which everyone needs to know at higher priority. This book is hope for everyone in this turmoil life with the discussions of God's will. This book will make your life easy and smooth, that you can open your mind to any difficulty or problem. After reading this book, you will understand that everything in the whole universe will adjust itself to accommodate your words, because your spirit has so much power. It will move everything in this universe, and everything will come in line with that. So you are the one supposed to speak in the middle of your house. Speak prosperity, speak help, speak peace, and speak reconciliation. Victory, the middle of your business. You are the one to speak success. You ought to speak it. You don't need anybody to speak it. God is expecting you to speak. It doesn't have to ask God to speak it. God is not going to come down to say a word, as He says you are the king and you speak it. I've given it to you and made you just like me in my image and likeness, so that you can be like me and operate like me. You speak it. There are many other benefits to reading this book. Positive changes in life. The readers of this book may experience the positive change in life because this book is based on the solutions that no one can tell you, or neither have you wanted to discuss with anyone. Thinking of more and more problems will make you harvest the negativity of life, and this book will allow you to take control of negative thoughts and provide positivity that makes your life better. Faith and belief. Doubts and unbelief make you disheartened and extra conscious even in little matters. Reading this book will make you believe in faith, and belief which reduces stress and increases empathy. Religious belief. Religion is something that makes hope in people. Everyone dies, but there is after death. Life is coming for final results. What you do in your life. This book will make you capable to see the difference between wrong and right. Build self-confidence. This is very important for you to believe, trust in yourself. This book will provide the best way that readers can build self-confidence for the betterment of life. Positive decision-making power. Decision-making is one of the major things of your life. Your one wrong decision will lead you towards jail or hell. This book will provide you the best positive decision-making power, which is necessary for everyone to stay away from the wrong decisions.
This video was brought to you by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries. Why not email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com and learn about the programs we have to assist women. We welcome women who wish to participate. Surely you have a few hours each month to help us with one of our programs. We believe that one of our programs, Recruiting Citizens, The Wall Project, Black Women in Cancer, Teach Someone to Read, will interest you, where you might volunteer once a month to help us. Our primary function is to assist women in changing their lives. Email us today. We would appreciate your help. Our lessons are viewer supported. If you enjoy our lessons and they have been a help to you, please send the Women of Courage Show a donation. Any amount will help. $1 will help. Spread our message. You can also go to our website, touchedbythelight.us, and purchase the book, You Are the Prophet of Your Life. We support ourselves through book sales at the Women of Courage Show every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. for information that will change your life. You can also visit us at our website, touchedbythelight.us, for more information. Thank you. If you do not like your life,